So on this map, you have the barbarians at the very top of the map. So of course, you can go ahead and you can see that the barbarians have quite a bit of food, lots of resources around. But trust me, especially the golden stone will run out very quickly. And their job is to go ahead and make their way down towards the forum, which is at the bottom of the map here. If they're able to go ahead and kill this, it's game over, so they win. Unfortunately, if the Romans are able to hold out, and there's a timer at the very top of the map over here, if they hold out for this many minutes, they're going to go ahead and win. I say this many instead of saying 39 because the barbarians can get extra time by killing certain things. So by completing the secondary objectives that are down here, they're able to go ahead and get extra time that is allowed to them. Now the Romans are not defenseless, so first of all they create more powerful units than the barbarians in general. Now the main thing is they also have a lot of fortifications. As you can see, this is a nice big Roman camp, and of course they hold pretty much the entirety of the map, including all the other gold mines. So if the barbarians want to go ahead and create some extra units, yeah, the meta is to survive 1 hour against Super Lisco. Of course. There's a cool things. So this taverna over here on the left has a small chance of creating some trade carts. And once that happens and the trade carts actually make it into the middle of the city, they get quite a few resources. Same thing with this mine over here. So as long as this outpost is alive, there's going to be some donkeys that will spawn. They're going to be called mules, and as again, same thing. If they get to the middle of the city, they'll get all the Romans again some nice buff of stone and gold. On the far right, you have a Fedoria here, which is renamed the Sluice. I'm not even sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but either way, it's basically their aqueduct system where they're able to go ahead and get some food. So every about 8 minutes and 20 seconds, the Romans will actually go ahead and get quite a bit of food that is going to be tributed to them. It also heals their units, so if any of the units are damaged every I'd say every minute or so, they'll be able to go ahead and get healed. The fortress in the middle, this is a very hard thing to go ahead and take because as you can see there's quite a few towers. It actually has a small chance every about 10 seconds to go ahead and create legionaries. So of course, unfortunately, the barbarians, don't have access to cartography just yet. What I can say, however, is that they're able to go ahead and purchase it by killing this monastery over here. So they want to go ahead and target that as fast as they possibly can, just so that they can see exactly what's going on throughout the map. Otherwise, they're relying on what's going on. There's a small side quest here that Super Lisco will probably be doing. This hermit is actually going to show them the way through the mountain. So as you can see right now, it's completely blocked. But of course, he's not going to do that for free. He's going to ask a tribute of 350 gold for them to go ahead and open the way. So it's a small anti-rush mechanic, but as we'll see here, thankfully, our purple player is going to go ahead and start walling this off very quickly. So that's really going to be really good. And I'm hoping that, Super Lisco isn't stream cheating, but, it is what it is. It's fine. He's a good player regardless if he needs to or not. And he obviously knows about this quest, so it's not something that I'm just announcing for new players. But as you can see, the Romans here have a lot less villagers than the barbarians. So they have a total of about 50 villagers compared to the barbarians' 80, which means that they're going to have a lot more population, a lot more resources at their disposal to create more units. So ideally, of course, eventually the barbarians are finally going to push through, which is why the Romans will win on the timer. So the longer that they take to wait to attack, the better it's going to be for the Romans. Not only that, but they're also going to be able to secure more resources around the map. And one of the things that you want to do as the Romans is you want to start securing your resources as far away as possible first, and then slowly moving back, because if you're using your resources close to the city first, once you actually get there, you will have nothing left. So because of how strong the fortress is in the middle, the red player should be able to go ahead and try to focus on keeping the monastery down here. And you can go ahead and build house walls to help you do that. So as you can see here, we've got purple that's already building house walls. You've got our teal player here that's also doing that, and we'll be doing that. The teal player likes to really go ahead and concentrate and keep his cavalry as much as possible, using his other units because they're quite fast and they can pack quite the punch. So so far he's doing quite well, so you can see that purple is actually slowly walling, and I've kind of made this really difficult to completely fully wall because the rocks are not made perfectly on the tile. There's patches of ice and things like that that they have to go ahead and kind of play with, but near the towers they'll be able to go ahead and wall correctly. So as you can see, he's able to go ahead and build 2 houses to completely block the way here. So let's see here. So as you can see here, purple's holding back yellow quite a bit, trying to anyway. That village is going to go down, so as soon as he gets them through, generally speaking, it's going to be the end of this Theodoric. So unfortunately, I don't think purple has any units that are on the way to go ahead and get there. Another thing I should mention is that once the units are created, they're automatically going to be tasked once they reach a critical mass. That critical mass is about 20 units or so. And as you can see, Super Lisco is just making his way through very quickly with the units that he has completely built right now. So I don't even think he's got fully all of his upgrades just yet. He is working on them, but basically the idea is to go ahead and rush this so that you can deny the Romans as many resources as possible. Now, if this can actually hold out until about minute 16 or so, which would be really awesome if purple was able to go ahead and keep it, which unfortunately he is not going to do. Just a feeling. He's going to get another nice big tribute, but otherwise it looks like they're only just going to get the 1. So it's kind of important to go ahead and build a lot of resources down here, lots of walls very quickly to avoid this from happening, and to start getting a lot of food production so that you can start getting a lot of units to help protect this. Because obviously it's a lot easier to take this down through the mountain pass than it is to take the Roman camp that's blocking the other way. So as you can see here, we didn't quite make it to minute 16. There's a small tower here that's going to try to hit all of these units. But let's see. So, oh dear. So Super Lisco got really lucky. So he got a 50% chance to getting saboteurs instead of petards. So these are, of course, much deadlier than the normal petards. So he's going to basically blow a hole in an army, a wall, or buildings, or something like that very, very quickly. So if purple isn't paying attention, he's going to get wrecked very easily. So right now we see that Super Lisco is actually sending a couple of scouts down this way just to see what kind of resistance he's meeting. And it looks like, let me take a look at his resources down here. So he's got quite a bit of food stocked up, which is really good. He just needs a little bit of gold. So all you need is to get a couple of, like a trade card or another mule or something like that going on, just so you can go ahead and secure a little bit more gold. But so unfortunately, not any of them have gone so far. But he does have quite a few units in the fortress, so does red, so that maybe he can go ahead and use those. But yeah, so as you can see, these 4 units are not going to be a match, regardless if they are stronger than any of these units individually. The fact that there's a mass of barbarian units. So it looks like, what is it? The barbarian player here, Gray, was able to go ahead and kill the monastery here, so he's able to go ahead and grab cartography for the barbarian players. So you can see here that he's slowly retreating inside the fortress. So as long as this army tent and these 2 towers don't go down, it's not going to be too much of an issue. But as you can see, he is slowly attacking on other sides, and he's keeping his petards at bay, which is really good, as you don't want to. You want to make sure that he's, you know, not using them on a house or anything like that. So the important, oh, there you go. So there was 1 petard being used on these houses. So she's trying to just go ahead and make a break for it. So these Gabitos can be easily targeted down with the towers, which is something that you kind of want to do if you can. The last thing that you want is your towers to shoot on something incredibly tanky like, this Huskarl, because they'll only do 1 damage. So you want to make sure that you have a couple of units to be able to take down the Huskarls and the Rams and things like that, but that your towers are automatic or manually targeting the throwing axemen or the Betos or the Nordic swordsmen, just so that you can thin out their numbers and you can deal with the ranged units a little bit better. It's not looking good down here. Thankfully, though, Alminster is sending his cavalry down here, so it's going to be a little bit harder for Superlisco to go ahead and take. Let's see. Did he use the rest of his petards? Saboteurs. Okay, so there's still one here. So again, I'm not sure. Maybe he did use it on the units. But, ooh, the Saboteur is there. Oh dear. So I don't know if Alminster is also watching, but either way, that Saboteur is scaring these knights away. We've got Green on the other hand here, who he's slowly trying to push, but as you can see, he's meeting heavy resistance, fighting underneath Alminster's towers, and as you can see, they're very, very strong. So one thing I didn't mention is that the Romans can actually get the Imperial armor upgrades on all their units as well as chemistry and arrow slits. They have about a 1% chance of getting them. So right now it looks like they didn't manage to go ahead and grab the armor upgrades for the infantry and archers. So it's going to be a really good for them to be able to do that. And as you can see, oh my god, so Gray ended up coming with his own units down here. Unfortunately, there's not many upgrades on most of their units. But as you can see, there's quite a big mass of them down here. So it'd be nice if maybe Red was able to go ahead and, give them a hand. So Red is not making a lot of units. I'm just going to go ahead and see what's going on down here. So he's getting a ton of wood, ton of gold, but he is lacking a lot of food. So if he's, he was able to go ahead and transition his economy to get more food, he would be able to contribute a lot more to the war effort. I'm going to go ahead and just message one of the Roman players just really quickly, just to make sure that he is aware that he needs a lot more food to go ahead and get some more units. So as soon as you can see he gets like 50 above 1,000, he's actually basically just automatically creating a unit because they're all just waiting for the food count to go up. Alright, so as you can see, they're slowly pushing, and there's quite the massive units down here. But the thing is, it's still quite hard to go ahead in here. It looks like, unfortunately, Red has not been able to go ahead and upgrade his towers, even though he does have a university at the bottom right here of the city. He should probably go ahead and use it to do two things. So first of all is getting the fortified walls upgrade so his gates are as strong as the walls, and of course to get the guard tower upgrade. And this is just so that he's able to go ahead and do a little bit more damage, as the extra damage on the guard tower upgrade will matter, especially against units like the Huskarls or the Tarkin or something like that. Alright, so you can see that Superlisco and Grey are advancing very rapidly through this side. Superlisco knows exactly where to go ahead and hit to make sure that he's able to do that. As Red, I think that I would be basically just blocking this part off. Maybe blocking this part up and setting up as much eco here as possible, just to make sure that I have a safe spot for it. Just because usually people don't make a frontal assault on the fortress. But as you can see, Purple's units are down here by the fortress, and he's going to try to go ahead and take down that gate. So thankfully, though, there's a couple of units down here that are going to make it a little bit harder for Yellow to just go ahead and walk in. And we've got Red here that's got the rest of his army down here. He's going to try to ambush them. So fighting underneath towers, fighting underneath castles, not that great, but house walling, especially important areas like that, is also very good. So because he didn't get the guard tower upgrade, his towers are very weak. He also didn't get the masonry upgrade, so they're taking less armor on the towers. But so far so good. So they're going to be able to easily, well, I'd say easily, but they're going to be able to clean up this army. Um, so purple's going to be able to hold his castle down here, and red has just been, you know, kind of destroyed down here just due to the entire mass of the units. But unfortunately, yellow is coming in with, again, more reinforcements because, you know, he's got a really big food economy at home, and he's not lacking any gold or anything like that. So he's been able to go ahead and grab quite a few upgrades. A lot of units are coming in, so he's basically doing max pop. Teal, on the other hand, here is actually holding quite well. So as you can see, like, sure, some of his walls are on fire, but you know, he's rebuilding house walls and things like that. And green's having quite a bit of issues going against Elm. So let's see from green's point of view. So he did build a couple of outposts. I don't know if I suggest building outposts. They do cost 10 stone, and that's basically like a unit that you can possibly get, as stone will create your best units. So unfortunately, this is not looking too hot right now. Oh, this is going to be really nice. So the merchant coming in is going to be a lot of gold for the Roman players. So a lot of them who are missing a lot of gold will be able to go ahead and get quite a few units. But usually it's the food count that really does matter. And unfortunately, because there's no units around here, it's going to be really easy for the barbarians to go ahead and walk right in. Now you see purple is trying to go ahead and repair the castle. Repairing a castle is very expensive, but he does have quite a bit of stone at his disposal. So it's actually better for him to go ahead and do that. Now this is a lot more dangerous because now they're able to go ahead and get some rams inside here. And unfortunately, red doesn't, like, red's got some idle villagers, and he's just not getting enough food income, which is unfortunate. So you've got, on the opposite hand, you've got purple, he's floating quite a bit of food, and he was just missing some gold. So now he's creating a lot of units. As you can see, he's just getting a lot of units down here being spawned, and he's going to be able to go ahead and maybe help against yellow. But that castle is definitely going to go down. That ram is going to make short work of it. And by killing this camp over here, that's how the barbarians are able to go ahead and grab the capped ram upgrade. So again, towers are not upgraded. The gate here is also not upgraded, so I'm kind of getting worried. And of course, you see the Romans are losing this space for their economy. Purple is actually house walling down here, which is a great idea. Thankfully, he'll be able to hopefully maybe keep that up a little bit, just because he is able to keep his economy going. So as you can see here, it's a lot of economy for purple, and he doesn't want to go ahead and lose that. But red's lost all of his spot here for economy. For some reason, he's still mining a ton of gold, which he doesn't really need, because I'll show you he's floating, you know, like almost 4,000 or 5,000 gold at this point. And same thing with wood, but he's, you know, lacking a lot of food. So we have here, again, another attempt for green to go ahead and try to, you know, attempt to infiltrate this camp. He did manage to kill off the wall, but of course, you know, Elm is just going to go ahead and rebuild some houses to kind of block the way. And that's fine. I'm not too worried because, of course, you know, if green was getting a little bit more food eco, which I'll actually show you guys, that's probably the same problem. So he's got a ton of wood, a ton of gold, but he's lacking a lot of food. So he should be building a lot more farms to make a lot more units. And by doing that, he's going to overwhelm the teal player to do that. But right now, it's really bad because they're not able to stop yellow. Yellow is just basically able to go ahead and come in, kill these towers, kill all these units, and basically make life horrible for the Romans. Yeah, so yeah, Super Lisco is like a really good player. He's able to go ahead and like, he's played this map quite a few times. He made me realize that there's some place that you could build docks, but you shouldn't do that. But let's see.
No.
Oh, yeah. So the timer, yeah, 23 minutes at the moment. But they're going to get a lot more time with this one. Well, alright. So red just resigned. A little bit unfortunate because he didn't really contribute much to the war effort for the Romans. And unfortunately, it does happen that, you know, you get a weakling. But yeah. So Super Lisco is just basically just waltzing in at this point. Um, and as you can see, like his units are really strong. They have all upgrades and things like that. There's a couple of spots, so if you destroyed this, you would get Blast Furnace, for example. Um, Destroying all of these things. Yeah, well, yes, self, exactly that. So basically Yellow's he's basically, because he's able to push, which is not a bad idea, honestly, is to go ahead and make sure that all the other players also get their bonuses. Anything that they can do to go ahead and help is actually better, because if he's able to just go ahead and push this way, it wasn't really fair for Purple, because Gray ended up coming to help Yellow. Not that Yellow needed the help, but it just made it a 2v1, and Red wasn't exactly able to go ahead and keep it up. So now he's finally attacking the fortress. And as you can see, he's taking still quite a few casualties, even just to the towers that are just down here. And like I said, they're not even guard towers. This wall isn't even fortified walls, so it's a little bit unfortunate. But yeah, so as you can see, that there's still legionaries that are coming in, and the fortress is just making short work of anything that's basically not a ram, and even the ram, you can see that it's doing quite a bit of damage. So as you can see here, the rams and these units, they ended up getting extra attacks, so they're even deadlier than usual, and this is just due to the fact that Super Lesko ended up killing this camp here, so the units here ended up getting an attack boost. But that's just for the gray units. So green is attacking again, trying to go ahead and finally conquer this camp, but um, yeah, maybe with the Rams he'll be able to push, but if Elm is being careful and targeting these Gabitos, that's basically the worst thing that can happen down here. And of course he needs to have a little bit of infantry to go ahead and clean up the Rams. But yeah. So yeah, you definitely want to go ahead and stay under the castles. Purple's doing the right thing. He's basically going to build a lot of house walls, which is really good. Um, yeah, Red is basically just completely done. He's not going to be able to create any units or anything like that at this point. And this is really unfortunate that the fortress is going to be going down, as it's going to give the Romans quite a bit extra time. But since nobody was there to defend it, it's going to go down very quickly. And it's going to go there, and you're going to see the timer is going to go up by about 15 minutes. There we go. So the Romans now have to hold for about 47 minutes, and Green finally made it through, although it was a very grievous cost, as you can see. Um, the game would have been over by now at 40 minutes if, Purple was able to hold, if Red was able to hold. 40 minutes is still, a long time in-game, but they were able to get another, let's see here, another about 50 minutes or so of extra game time just by killing a couple of things. So Super Lisco is not just going all around, giving everybody their bonuses to make sure that what they have is good. And let me see here. I just want to see if... There we go. So this is actually really cool. So the Green has finally gotten Theodoric the Goth, so that's like a 10% chance upon destroying that camp. So he's getting Theodoric the Goth, so he got the hero right here, and he was creating some elite Visigoths, so they're basically elite Huskarls. So as you can see, they're super tanky. And of course, the Theodoric the Goth is also a very, very tanky hero, which is awesome. So I don't know what you mean by that, but I will take that as a compliment, I guess, I hope. But yeah, so as you can see, I'm pretty sure that at this point, Super Lisco and... Oh, well, thank you. Super Lisco and Noise Boys Legend. Yeah, they're basically PopCap, as you can see. They've gotten all of these things. And, oh my god, even better. So you've got Noise Boys that's got the Elite Scythians here. So as you can see, there's another hero unit, so they're quite strong. And of course, they're very rare to get. So another great buff for the Barbarians, not that they needed any extra help at this point. But the disrespect here. I don't care, Self. People can snipe streams. I don't care. It's not like I'm playing, Regicide or something like that. But if I can help them make the game more interesting or anything like that, then I will. Because I'm basically helping both sides when I'm explaining things. I say what I would do as both the Romans and as the barbarians, so I hope that makes it even. But either way, but I mean, this is disrespect right here. This disrespect forward lumber camp from Gray. My God. All right, so Super Lisco's been trying to go in, and as you can see, like the house walls for purple is doing great. Fighting underneath the castles, they're able to go ahead and buy more time. Unfortunately, you know, Yellow's smarter than that. He's going to go around. He's going to go ahead and go right for the gold mines, right for the economy, and it's not going to be good for the Roman players right here. You know, if they make a hole down here, it's going to be hell for the Romans to go ahead and first of all keep up an economy, and two, basically to hold on different sides. So Green is finally making his way. He finally claimed that Roman camp, um, and ideally Elm will try to keep this as long as possible. To be fair, 15 minutes for this taberna is incredible. I'm sure he's gotten quite a bit of gold just due to the fact that a couple of extra. Well, I'm assuming many extra trade cards have actually gone through. And of course, with that means that there's extra donkeys. So if I'm gonna look at their resources, yeah, they still have stone, they still have gold, which is really good, and they're just missing again for food. So they're still creating quite a few units just due to the fact that they're not out of gold yet. If they're out of gold, it's going to be really bad because they're only able to create skirmishers, and against the unit compositions that the barbarians have, it's going to be very, very bad. They're not going to have a good time. So there you go, you got Super Let's Go that went in right exactly where I said he should. Usually that monastery is just because there's no grass, there's no water, there's no bushes blocking the way. So you're able to go ahead and kind of create a path going in. The gold mines down here are going to go down. There's just these pesky towers over here for purple. Unfortunately, you can't reach normally, so you have to kill them from range, and it might not be the best use of your range units to go fight the tower, but either way, it's not that big of a deal. So, of course, Super Lisco's making a bigger hole in the wall here, and eventually that will go down because just the sheer amount of units that are down here. But you've got purple and teal that shifted their energies down here. Gray's coming in from the front, and as you can see here, you have to go ahead and split your forces. Elm is still trying to hold against green, over here trying not to give extra time to, again, the Roman players, as they can still get extra time by killing these cities, these places over here. But honestly, even without that, I don't think they're going to last out the 42 minutes. So you've got yellow coming in from the right, gray's coming down the center, and he's got, of course, his Scythians down here, which are going to do quite a bit of damage, and they're basically just killing a lot of these poor houses, these poor Roman homes, and they are fighting underneath the castles. So they do have to kill the houses that the players have built protecting these castles before. But as you can see, there's so many Roman units, and this is just from Gray. My screen here is just filled with Gray's units, and very little of teal and purples. Ironically, though, Red is still contributing more than he has all game with these 4 scorpions hiding just underneath the forum. So they're actually going to do quite a bit because, as you can see, there's quite a few of the the barbarian units in the Roman land. So because they're all stacked up and things like that, they're going to be doing a lot of damage. With that little bit elite Scythian, you can probably just go ahead and destroy all of these scorpions. But these scorpions did quite a bit of damage. As, they have about 12 pierce damage on them. Oh dear. Well, these elite Scythians, like I said, are doing a lot of work. So as you can see, they're taking a lot of punishments from the scorpions, from the units. They're just making short work of everything. The Rams are just going to go ahead and kill that castle very quickly, and there's going to be nothing that the Romans can do at this point. Yeah, Alm is calling the GG with good reason, but honestly, he did a wonderful job. He ended up holding off Green's side and basically helping out with the main defense of the base for almost an hour. So great job on him. Purple was a little bit rushed, unfortunately, due to the not getting a villager there quickly enough. You want me to look at your mills? Where did you put your mills? Oh, Hi. All right, I see. Hi. All right, but anyways, it's a good job for all of them, and then you can see here that Purple went on Teal's side to go ahead and try to keep his economy up. But all in all, it was a great game. Ended up a little bit abruptly, unfortunately, just due to Red not exactly knowing what he's doing, and maybe a little bit lack of help from his teammates in terms of how to balance his economy. Because I'll just show you guys, and this is after he still, have so much food and gold. So the only thing that he could make was those scorpions. So, anyways, it was a good game. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Should probably be going on YouTube at some point, but it's awesome that we got to see finally Theodoric the Goth.